Hey friends, I'm Liz Holtzman and you're listening to the Simplified podcast. If you're looking for a quiet place where you can filter out the noise and the hustle, this is it. Every week we invite you to slow down and join us so you can explore practical ways to organize and automate the complicated parts of life so you can focus on what truly matters most. Do you know someone who's about to welcome a new little one into their family? Or maybe you are about to welcome a little one into your own. Then, friend, I bet you would like to know about our Simplified baby books. These sweet baby books help parents tell their children the story of how they came into their family. There's plenty of space and prompts for writing and lots of places for photographs. It's a keepsake you will all treasure for years to come. You can get your Simplified baby book right now over at emilylay.com. I'm about 5 whole months into motherhood, and I absolutely cannot believe that I am saying that. It feels like it's been an actual lifetime, but also the blink of an eye all in the same breath. Make that make sense. My husband David and I have learned so much these past few months, not only about how to be a parent, but also about what each of us looks like as a parent. We've learned how important it is to care for ourselves so that we can function and thrive, and not just as individuals, but also as our new family unit. And if I'm being honest, so much of that learning happened kind of like a crash landing in the first few weeks. There is a whole lot about parenthood that absolutely nobody can prepare you for. You can hear the tips and the stories and words of advice all day long, but trust me when I say this, I don't think that you can fully get it until you live it. That said, there are certainly some things that I wish I had heard before Bennett came, because I spent a lot of those first few weeks feeling lonely, guilty, and scared, which is definitely not the way that I planned on feeling when I became a brand new mom. I had worked so hard for him. We had desperately wanted this little boy, but here I was with him in my arms, having all of these complicated feelings. And that, of course, made me feel even more guilt on top of what I was already feeling. There are so many parts of new motherhood that we do hear about. We hear about the pain of childbirth and the lack of sleep, but then we're told about how seeing your child for the first time will give you a rush of love like you've never had before, that every hard thing that you just went through will be worth it for this little person. And as I sit here today, 5 months in, I can truly say that it is worth every second of it. But holy man, this is hard. This is really hard. And sometimes it's lonely. And sometimes you might be sad. And so much of the time, the perfection that I imagined has taken a very sharp left turn into a reality of poop and crying and spit up and sickness and juggling all the things while trying to remember how to be a human. And not only how to be a human, but remembering that you are a human. So I just want to normalize the hard for you. If you're a parent, I know you know what I'm talking about. I hope you feel seen in what I talk about today, and I am so curious how close your experience mimics mine. And for those of you who are on the cusp of being a mom for the first time, or if you're waiting for your miracle to happen, or if you just want to know how to support your friends on their motherhood journey, then pull up a chair. I've got a few things that I want you to know about. Number 1, it's normal not to be head over heels in love with your new baby right away, especially if your birth is traumatic. Because getting pregnant wasn't dramatic enough for me, thank you, IVF. Why don't we throw in a whole little labor craziness too, huh? TLDR, I think I had a bad reaction to the epidural. I went into labor a few days before my scheduled induction. Okay, no problem. We have rehearsed for this. We know what to do. We go to the hospital, and shortly after the anesthesiologist performed my epidural, I started feeling weird, just like really, really weird. First, I couldn't feel my arms or my chest or then even myself breathing. And then I started to get really super drowsy and just could not stay awake. I did not know it at the time, but my blood pressure had plummeted. And then they couldn't find Bennett's heart rate. Yeah, I know. It was bad. It was really bad. Soon, my room was full of doctors yelling things at each other while I was in and out of consciousness, Grey's Anatomy style. The next thing I remember is someone in my ear telling me that they couldn't find my baby's heart rate and were rushing us to the OR for a C-section. And can I tell you something? As I laid on the gurney staring up at those obnoxiously bright fluorescent lights, the thoughts slamming around in my brain were, please keep me alive. I don't want to die. I don't want to leave my husband. I want them to do whatever they have to do to save me. And I did. I truly, truly wanted them to save me. That was all I was thinking about. I was so scared. And I honestly wanted them to choose me over my baby. The thought now, as I sit here looking over at the monitor, watching my son sleeping away in his crib, is wild. Because today, I absolutely, without a doubt, choose him. I would choose him without a second thought. I would beg them to save him instead of me. But that day, I just didn't know him yet. Yeah, I had waited and waited for him and grew him for 9 months, but I did not have the connection to him I do now. And can I tell you something else? I carried a lot of guilt for the first several weeks of his life. And to be honest, I'm still sorting through it because of those first few moments. You hear that the quote unquote good moms sacrifice life and limb for their children, but that day I just wasn't prepared to do that. And as I've wrestled with that guilt and talked with other moms, I've realized it's more common than you think because not everyone has that fairy tale experience when they put your baby on your chest, and not everyone gets to have their baby put on their chest, like me. It took me many days to adjust to our new norm and get comfortable in my new role as mom. It certainly was not immediate, but I am thriving in it now. It just took some time. Number 2, I wish somebody would have told me that the pressure to breastfeed starts in the hospital. First, I want to say that this is such a personal topic, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion. In our house, fed is best, and a happy, healthy mama equals a happy, healthy baby. In your house, you might have a different norm, and that is okay. Both things can be true for us. Okay, enough soapbox. Here's my story. I went into motherhood feeling like I would very much go with the flow when it came to feeding. I definitely wanted to give breastfeeding a try, but it was never like a do or die thing for me. I was not afraid to introduce formula if we needed to. And I did not think that I would feel guilty about it. That is until the baby came. Obviously, now you know his entrance was fast and furious. I have heard that kind of delivery can affect how quickly your milk comes in. I don't know if that is true or not. Obviously, I am not a medical professional. It certainly did seem to be true in my case, though. I could talk a whole lot about this because there was a whole lot that I didn't know in the hospital about feeding that I know now, like how little your babies actually need to eat those first few days and how common it is for babies to lose weight immediately after birth. Again, just things I wish someone had told me. All of that aside, there is no denying the intense pressure I felt in the hospital to make breastfeeding work. Nearly every single person who came into my room seemed to be more concerned with whether or not my baby was finally latching than they were with how either of us were doing otherwise. It really was just an echo chamber of, this is the most important thing right now. And I would have very much appreciated that fervent support if I had voiced my need for it. Leaving the hospital, I continued to beat myself up for not being able to feed my baby the quote-unquote best way. For me, it was just another tally I added to the list of things that my body should be able to do, but just couldn't. As the weeks went on, I was exclusively pumping. And when anyone asked how breastfeeding was, David and I would give an honest answer. And we were always, always met with disappointment and sympathy, which just compounded my guilt. All of those voices had caused me to lose sight of my outlook pre-baby, that fed is best and everyone's health, both mental and physical, matters. My supply had never quite caught up to what I needed it to be to feed Bennett on breast milk alone, so we were always supplementing a bottle or two with formula. But after about 2 months, I slowly started dropping pump sessions until eventually I was just doing one right before bed and freezing the milk for later. And then I just stopped altogether. And you know what? Bennett still thrived. And I felt alive again. And that is a win-win in my book. Number 3, the first few weeks will be really, really, really hard. And they might feel a little bit dark. I'm not going to lie to you. The first 2 weeks of Bennett's life, I really struggled. I was trying to nurse a baby that just would not latch. I was pumping every 3 hours around the clock, desperately wishing for sleep, and a few hours alone on the couch with my husband and Netflix. Understanding I now had a human person who was solely dependent on me was an adjustment, to say the least, a scary one. Not to mention the realities of what sleep deprivation does to a person. In one of those first few weeks, I remember sitting in his nursery, rocking him and thinking, is this what my life is going to be forever? Is this what I'm going to feel like forever? Is this what motherhood is? A few months on, I happily know the answer to that question is a very big fat no. Honestly, no one could have prepared me for those first few weeks. You are learning so much so fast, and your world is literally turned upside down. Plus, I was also really mourning my life before, which I just was not prepared for. Now, there's my life before Bennett and my life after Bennett. And in those first few weeks, my life after Bennett at that time no longer included a daily opportunity to lay in bed and watch Netflix for an hour uninterrupted if I wanted to. That may sound stupid, and truthfully, I do feel a little silly telling you about this, but that thought was really scary to me. Everything about my life had totally changed, and I was not loving those first few days home from the hospital. I can admit that now because all of this stuff, not only motherhood, but adjusting to it, is just so hard. By far, this is the hardest thing I have ever done. But I wish I could go back to myself in those first few weeks and say to that version of myself who is trying so hard and is just so tired, it does get better. It gets so much better. Slowly but surely, you start to get in your groove. You go to bed one night and you realize you weren't totally winging it every second of the day. And then one miraculous day, you don't have to wake your baby up to feed every 3 hours. Thank you, sweet Jesus. And then you start to get a little bit more sleep. And then they smile at you and laugh. And then you can take an hour to cook dinner for yourself. And you can sneak in a chapter of a good book. And then one day, you wake up at 6 a.m. and realize that your baby slept through the night. And you may cry actual real tears of joy and jump up and down and repeat every single solitary thing you did the night before in an effort to repeat said night of sleep. And you know what else happens? Every day that goes by, you love that baby more and more. And every single day gets better and better. Summer food is just the best, isn't it? When I get plenty of lean protein and fresh fruits and veggies packed with color and flavor, that is when I feel my best too. Enter my summertime food bestie, Green Chef. Green Chef helps you eat clean the easy way with recipes that help support your wellness goals while delivering fresh, delicious flavors. This summer, you can feel your best with seasonal recipes featuring certified organic fruits and vegetables, organic cage-free eggs, and sustainably sourced seafood. And if you find yourself craving more servings of a favorite recipe, which, hi, that's me, now you can double the portions in your weekly order with just one click. Lately, I can't get enough of these Middle Eastern beef and cauliflower rice bowls. Oh my gosh. It comes with this lemon crema that I just want to eat with the spoon. And I might actually eat it with a spoon. Don't tell anybody. And if you put feta on literally anything, I am there. I will show up. So save time and feel your best this summer with Green Chef. Go to greenchef.com/simplified50 and use code simplified50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. One more time, go to greenchef.com/simplified50 and use code simplified50 to get 50% off plus free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating clean. Did you hear that? That's the sound you'll hear when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell, online, in person, on social media, and beyond. Shopify is the best all-in-one commerce platform capable of handling your business's complexity, no matter how big you grow. With Shopify, you can harness the best converting checkout and the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands like Ruggable, Rothy's, Allbirds, and even Simplified. That's right. If you've ever bought a planner or a workbook or a sticker book from EmilyLay.com, then friend, that was through Shopify. We've been using Shopify for over 10 years now, and we absolutely love it. We can create a beautiful storefront that you guys love to shop in and have the tools on the back end to get what you need quickly and easily. No matter the size of your business, I guarantee you're going to love Shopify as much as we do. So stop leaving sales on the table. Switch your business to Shopify and discover why millions trust Shopify as their all-in-one commerce platform to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/simplified, all lowercase. That's 1 month for just $1 at shopify.com/simplified. Shopify.com/simplified. Number 4, forget the nursery. You won't be there for a while. Before we left for the hospital, Bennett's nursery was all perfect and cute and organized. I had every single thing I thought we would need. And the second we got home from the hospital, David was doing a mad dash to move everything into our bedroom or the living room. Because honestly, those first few months, you won't need diapers or even like most of their clothes in the nursery. We even moved his changing pad and diaper pail and all that stuff into our room for middle of the night beads and diaper changes. And we had all of his clothes in the cart in the living room. I also had that cart stocked with diapers and cream and more burp cloths than any one human should own. Because do you know how easy it is to move around a cart instead of an entire changing table? Very. It is very easy. Eventually, once I started pumping more, I ended up sneaking into his nursery to sit in like the comfy chair and watch a show while I felt like a cow, especially in the middle of the night. But when I was pregnant, I stressed a lot about what to stock his dresser with and where to put all the furniture, and I just didn't need to. We are in his nursery all the time now at 5 months, but we didn't even actually need to step foot in it for probably the first 2. Lesson learned. Number 5. You will have baby stuff everywhere. Hi, no one told me this. Your home is going to look like your baby registry threw up everywhere, even if you thought it wouldn't. And you'll probably be overwhelmed by the chaos because now your house looks like your brain feels. The second we got home from the hospital, every single square inch of our first floor was taken over by baby things. The pack and play, changing table, the play mats, the stroller, the car seat, the pump parts, the formula, the dirty bottles, the burp cloths, the diapers, some of them dirty, let's be real. All the added clutter was a lot for my brain to take in. And I will admit, there were a few times that I cried because I couldn't walk anywhere without running into something. But just like everything else in new motherhood, you get in a groove. I promise you will figure out what things work for you and what doesn't. And over time, you can start cutting down the clutter. You will still have baby stuff everywhere, but you will learn to live with it. And at some point, this sounds crazy, but the chaos might even become a little bit fun. And there you have it. 5 things I wish I knew before I became a mom, so that I would maybe be a little bit more chill when I became one. If and when we have baby number 2, I know that this is going to help a lot. And honestly, just going in with a more open mind will be helpful. I know so much more now than I did then, and I feel much more prepared to advocate for myself. And who knows, we might have an entirely different nursing experience the next time around. Either way, I will be more confident in myself and knowing that what works best for us is exactly what we'll do to care for our family. I'm sure I will be adding to this list for probably the rest of time because we seem to learn something new about Bennett or ourselves every single day. But for now, I really am just trying to embrace rolling with the punches so that we can enjoy every small little moment of growth and joy. All right, y'all, let me say a blessing over you as you get ready to get back to your day. This is for the new mamas out there and for anyone who is taking on a new role in her life. These are the beautiful words of Morgan Harper Nichols. So much has changed since last year, and you are only continuing to heal here as your heart is being prepared for all that is to come. And for anyone who was walking the road I did for so long through infertility, I love you, and I leave you with these words from Morgan. In the longest stretch of waiting she has ever known, she continues to breathe deep, holding on to the boundless peace where she finds room to keep trusting. This is the part of the episode where we usually give you a little tip you can tuck in your pocket and take with you. So here is what I've got for you today. Ask for help. Let go of the expectations. Let go of exactly what you thought these days and these moments would look like, and ignore the people telling you to soak up every single second of every single day, because you probably won't, and that will make you feel a lot of guilt. So take it hour by hour, minute by minute if you have to. Wash the bottles that need to be washed, do the laundry that needs to be done, and try to survive. It will get better, it will get so much brighter, and you will feel like yourself again, I promise you. And if you don't, ask for help. Talk to your doctor, talk to your partner, talk to your safety net. There are resources and there are things that you can do. Hang in there. Hey, thanks for listening to the Simplified podcast. You can find show notes for this episode over at emilylay.com for more info on links and resources I mentioned here. And you can shop the entire collection of Simplified planners and products. You can also follow me on Instagram at Liz M. Holtzman and on Substack at lizholtzman.substack.com, where you can follow more of my journey as a new mom. You could also follow our brand at Simplified for tons of simplicity tips and inspiration to get you through the day. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. If you want conversations like this every week, click the follow button on our show wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you liked what you heard today, leave a review. That helps other people find the show too. That's all I've got for you guys. Be sure to tune in next week for more Simplified goodness. Until next time, I hope you have a great day.